What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Contractor Secrets Podcast. Today, we're talking about one of my absolute favorite topics in sales, upselling, and what you should be doing on every single estimate. So, this is a short one today, but it's effective and it's designed to help you take action on your next estimate. So, tune in, hang out with me for a few minutes, and thanks for listening to the Contractor Secrets Podcast.
The big question you need to ask yourself every day is, do I own a job or do I own a business? And unfortunately, the majority of contractors out there own a job. That's right, they're a slave to their own business. But the other side of the fence is so much greener, it's so much better, and that's when you're finally fully in control of your destiny, your freedom, your time. And that's what Contractor Secrets is about. It's about taking back our time, building a business with systems, standards, values, procedures, putting yourself in the driver's seat. And that's what it's about. So I'm excited. I'm happy to have you here. Let's dive into the Contractor Secrets podcast.
What's going on, guys? Today is about upselling. So, upselling has always been something that's been ingrained in me. It's something that I caught on very early in my sales career. It all started back when I worked at a sushi restaurant. And as a server, you only make the money based on how much you sell because usually the standard is you get a certain average percentage of a tip based on the total ticket item. So for me, early on, 17, 18 years old, I recognized this principle early on. Reality of the situation is there's two types of servers in a restaurant. You have order takers and you have facilitators. And I was a facilitator. So essentially, there'd be, the other girl who was, working a couple tables next to me being a order taker. She'd go up to the table, ask them, hey, so what would you like to eat today? This is exactly how she said it. And they would tell her exactly what they wanted to eat today. And that was it. And then she would be, her income was at the mercy of whatever they ordered. Well, me, on the other hand, I noticed very early that I had to be a facilitator. And essentially, what I would do is whenever somebody would sit down, I'd say, hey, listen, I know you probably have an idea of what you want, but would you mind if I gave you some suggestions? And every single time, I don't think there was one person that said no over the course of working there for 2.5, 3 years at a very busy place where they wouldn't even hear my suggestions. So lock that in real quick because I'm going somewhere with this. So I would tell them my suggestions. I'd say, well, just so you know, we have a special, we have a couple specialty rolls on that are off the menu. Would you care if I explain them to you? And by specialty rolls, I mean sushi rolls. Now, these off the menu rolls were almost double the price of the sushi rolls that were on the menu. And there was a certain level of excitement when I said, hey, we have a couple rolls that are off the menu, right? So it created a little bit of curiosity and emotion as I'm selling it. So, in front of the table, I'd say, okay, well, this special Gilman roll, like there was this one roll that had like lobster on it and stuff. And I would explain the ingredients in the roll and I'd say, it's drizzled with a nice, semi-sweet eel sauce, and really just kind of paint the picture of what it's going to be like to eat this roll. And I'd say, it's our most popular roll. So the reality of this situation is when they came in, 90% of people that go into a restaurant, think of yourself when you go into a restaurant. You're uncertain of what you want, but we're trained to be certain in the moment when it's time to order. And we have this like mental thing that says, okay, I have to make a decision here. And if you really narrowed it down, a lot of people just make a decision based off of, what's highlighted on the menu or what someone else said, hey, what are you having? Or, what do you think? And you can hear the conversations happening. So there's a lot of uncertainty when people buy, you know, in any capacity. So when you can be a facilitator of the experience, people will pay more so they have peace of mind and have a better chance of getting fulfillment. Okay, because you're the expert, you're the person that's going to deliver a great experience simply by offering your suggestions. You're a trusted professional. And I would do this over and over and over again. My average ticket was double than anyone else in the restaurant because I mastered this principle. I was telling, number one, I'd ask permission. Okay. And by permission, that gave me the ability to get their full attention. So I'd say, would you allow me to give you some suggestions? Okay. And number two, I was painting a picture and creating the experience before they had the experience. And then I was backing it up with a reference of how many other people bought that sushi roll or enjoyed that sushi roll. So, those 3 things come into play in all that I do now, even when I'm, selling jobs. I had the fortunate pleasure of doing an estimate yesterday, which has been a while. A lot of you guys know that I'm kind of in the office now, working on Dripjobs, running the business from afar, doing a lot of things. And Chris was on the other side of town, and the estimate was like 3 minutes away from my house. So I'm like, I'll knock it out, just dust off the cobwebs a little bit, see if I still got it. And the reason I'm bringing this up to you is because it was just so natural to me to upsell that, like, I mean, I literally changed the entire scope in such a good way for them, and almost quadrupled what they would have paid had upsells not been something that they were offered. And it's just interesting to see that, like, sometimes we have this perspective about the situation, that we don't want to come across salesy, we don't want to come across too forward, we don't want to come across too aggressive. And think about it in the scenario of me being a server at a restaurant. It's all about the approach. At the end of the day, they'll be like, well, I just want the California roll. And I could be like, okay, well, all right, a $4 California roll. And I could say, well, can I just ask you a question? And I was like, and they'll be like, yeah, well, have you ever tried a sushi roll that had lobster on the top of it? And they'd say no. And I'd be like, well, do you mind if I tell you a little bit about this sushi roll that's off the menu that almost 50% of our customers, who walk in the door now ask for after they've tried it once, you know? And they'll be like, yeah, sure. And then, like, so it's not about being aggressive. It's just about helping people get the best experience. And that's at the forefront of my mind when I'm doing upsells. I really want them to get the best experience. I want them to get the best bang for their buck. I want them to have the best emotional intensity when we finish the job. That's what we all love in any trade that we do. Like, if you're the type of tradesperson doesn't care if people are happy with the end result, then you probably shouldn't be listening to me, because we won't get along. But if you're listening to this, you're the type of person that has a lot of pride in what you do and the service that you offer and the product that you give. So if, like, you have that as a truth, it's easy to say, hey, listen, I know you just wanted your walls painted, but have you thought about crown molding? And, well, I haven't really. Well, I'm looking at the way that your house looks, and I just really think that with an extra layer of molding at the top of the walls, I mean, it just really bring out all of your beautiful decor. It'll bring a lot of class, that just really just I would say complements what you already have here. We do crown molding for all of our customers, who have this level of detail in their decor, and they're just so happy at the end. Would you like me to provide you with a quote for that? And then, if they say no, then that's cool, no problem. But you're building that muscle to get comfortable with suggestive selling every single time. Like, you should totally be doing it. You should know your upsells. For us in the painting business, if somebody tells me they want walls, like, there's never been a time where I've done an estimate where I just said, okay, no problem, I'll quote you for the walls. I say, no. All right, well, have you thought about doing the trim too? Because, if you have a really nice white trim, the walls will just look that much better. And I mean, you should also do the doors as well, because if we paint white trim, then the doors, will look a little bit different. So would you like a quote for walls, trim, and doors? I don't think the ceiling needs it. If you want to do the ceiling, you can. It'll definitely brighten it up a little bit, but that's an area that we can save. So it's like, I'm not doing it just to raise the ticket. I could care less about that. I mean, yeah, it's great to make more profit, and either way, we'll find the profit. If the guys work there for 3 days to do walls, trim, and doors, if they only did walls for 2 days, I can supplement, you know, another job after that. So it's like, it's not really about, just raising the ticket, although that's a great benefit. It'll help you capitalize more in your marketing, and make things a little bit easier for you if you have longer job times and higher job tickets. But ultimately, like, again, the forefront of upselling for me personally is to make sure that I'm helping them achieve the best result. Because the reality of the situation is, go back to me as a server. I know what that experience is like when people love the sushi rolls that I offered, and they thanked me after, and they had such a great time, and it's like it took the pressure off deciding. And then, I know what that looks like for somebody to come in and experience that. So it's almost like I owe the person the opportunity to experience that too. I don't want them to go in the wrong direction. I don't want somebody to tell me they just want walls done. We paint their walls, and guess what? At the end, they're like, "Damn, I should have did my trim work too." So it's like almost like my duty to be like, "Hey, you should do your trim work too if you really want to achieve the best looking result. Would you like me to give you a quote?" So that is the fundamental of upselling right there. And it all has to do with the mind frame. It all has to do with your approach in terms of what your intention is. Again, it would be really hard to be confident in upselling if it was really only to make more money. And although, yes, that is a benefit. And that initially, when I started serving as a 17, 18-year-old money hungry kid, that was at the forefront. But then it changed. Then it was like, okay, I'm actually noticing that my customers are so much happier when I help them pick the food that they're eating and they like it, and I'm confident in that with my painting. If somebody tells me, Tanner, I just want my walls done, and I say, listen, that's usually what I get asked, but your trim, it looks like it hasn't been done. We put a fresh white enamel coating on all of the trim, brushed by hand, that is scuff resistant. It'll last a lot longer than what's currently on there, and you'll love the end result of having fresh white, brand new looking trim throughout your house. Okay? And it's like just one of those things. It's like I know what the end result will be like for this person after the job is done. They're going to love it. And I don't want anyone to feel like that there was something left to be desired. Don't get me wrong. There's people that say, no, Tanner, that's out of the budget, or you can quote that, but I don't think we're going to do it. No problem. I just got to give you the option. And I found more often than not, people are, uh, they're appreciative of it. And at the end, I mean, the risk of doing it is so great when you get that reward. Like it's so worth it, right? The reward of them saying yes, and more importantly, the reward of them loving what that end result is. So my challenge for you, keeping it short, my challenge for you is to upsell with the intent that you're doing them a service by doing it. So look at your upsells, look at what you have to offer. Do not be an order taker in this business. Okay? Do not just accept what they want. Offer your suggestions. You're the professional, they trust you. And don't be an order taker, and you'll see a dramatic increase in your sales and your confidence as well. So that's what I got for you. Keeping it short today. Get after it. If you're listening to this and you got an estimate, do it. That's my challenge. That's why we're keeping it short. I want you to take action. So we'll catch you on the next episode. Thanks for listening. Dripjobs CRM is finally here. That's right. So Dripjobs is an automation platform for contractors, home service professionals that's going to automatically follow up with your customers. It's going to allow you to send invoices, estimates. It's going to allow you to send out blast marketing emails to individuals based on where they are in the buying process. This software is next level. And I'm reaching out to you. You're a listener of this podcast, and I want you to be one of the first ones to give it a shot. So if you want to see what Dripjobs can do for your business, I'd love for you to head over to dripjobs.com, sign up for a free demo, and get your team involved, and let us sit with you and show you how powerful this software is. It's going to save you time, it's going to make you money, and you're going to love the features that are built into Dripjobs. So if you want to check it out, head over to dripjobs.com, and we will give you first priority being a podcast listener to be one of the very first to try out Dripjobs in your home service business. I'm super excited to share that with you, and I'll catch you on the next episode.